Instead of bed, where she usually awoke from her dreams, Leia found herself slumped forward in her crash webbing, ears hissing with static, and eyes aching from the glare of two G-class suns. Han and Chewbacca were still busy at their stations, Han plotting approach vectors and Chewbacca setting sensor filters. The planet Tatooine was just drifting into view, its yellow sodium-rich sands glowing so brightly it resembled a small sibling star in orbit around the big twins. A metallic hand tapped Leia's shoulder. She turned to see C-3PO's photoreceptors shining at her from the adjacent passenger seat.
Pardon me for asking, Princess Leia, but are you well?
Don't I look well?
Oh dear. Why, yes, you do look as splendid as ever, but it seemed for a moment as though you might have overloaded your primary circuits.
My circuits are fine. I'll need to confirm that later. Han twisted around and glanced over his seat, with the same crooked smile that had alternately charmed and worried Leia since their first meeting on the Death Star. Princess? Oh, really? Leia straightened herself in her chair without fully realizing she was doing it. And you think you can read my schematics? Sweetheart, I know your schematics by heart. Han's smile faded, and his expression grew concerned. 3PO's right. You look like you've seen a ghost. Something like that. A bad dream. Han regarded her a moment longer, then shrugged. Until the sensors come up, we need to keep an eye out for other traffic. Leia gazed out the canopy and began to search for the rapidly swelling silhouette of blocked starlight. That would mean an approaching vessel. Her thoughts remained focused on the strange dream. It had a similar feel to the Force vision she had experienced nearly 5 years earlier at Bakura, when her father had sent an apparition, begging for the forgiveness she would never, could never, grant. Han's hand rose into view between the pilot and co-pilot seats, pointing toward a blocky silhouette floating some distance to one side of Tatooine's yellow disk. That's too square to be a moon, Han said. How about those filters, Chewie? An impatient rumble suggested that the Wookiee was still struggling with the filters. Anyone else might have been frightened, but Leia found the groan reassuring, a touch of the familiar in a time of shifting alliances and random annihilation. When she had married Han 6 months ago, she had known Chewbacca would be an honorary member of their family, and that was fine with her. The comm hiss finally fell silent as Chewbacca found the right combination of filters. He brought the sensors up, fiddled a moment longer, then let out a startled rumph. The mass calibration is off, Han said. That reads like a Star Destroyer. Chewbacca ooh-rawled indignantly, then sent the data readout to the auxiliary display beside Leia's seat and glanced back for her affirmation. She had to look only a second to see that he was correct. 1,600 meters, 6 comm bands in use, and a TIE squadron circling on station, Leia said, feeling a little sick and worried. I don't know, Han. The mass calibration looks fine to me. As she spoke, the Falcon's computer found a profile match in its military databanks and displayed the schematic of an Imperial-class Star Destroyer. Below the image appeared the vessel's name. The Chimera, Han read. Isn't she still in service to the Empire? As of 2 months ago, she was one of their most efficient destroyers. Leia did not need to look up the information. The death of Warlord Zinji 8 months earlier had emboldened the Imperial fleet, and the Provisional Council had been mired in war minutiae ever since. Admiral Akbar has been wondering what became of her. Deserters? Han caught her eye in the canopy reflection. Another captain wanting to set himself up as a warlord? Please, no. The situation out here is already too confused. With the New Republic battling the Imperials over the scraps of Zinji's empire, and the surviving warlords exploiting the war to enlarge their own territories, confused was an understatement. And the Chimera's commander isn't the type. By all accounts, Gilad Pelion is both loyal and competent. Chewie, I can handle this, no problem. Han looked vaguely insulted. It's only one little Star Destroyer. Chewbacca grunted doubtfully, then added a yawl about the folly of tempting fate for a piece of art. Killik Twilight means a lot to Leia, Han said. It hung in the palace on Alderaan. Chewbacca growled a long question that suggested they might be flying into a trap. The painting might not even be real. You can't forge moss paintings, Leia answered. Not anymore. They require strains that don't spread or reproduce, the cultivation of which was a closely guarded secret even in Alderaan. That secret died with the rest of Alderaan. You see? Han asked. Besides, if the Imperials were trying to lure Leia to Tatooine, they wouldn't leave their Star Destroyer out in the open like that. Han pointed at the tiny silhouette of the Chimera, which had started an edgeward drift across the canopy as the Falcon eased past it toward the planet. Chewbacca reiterated the questions that had been troubling them all since learning of the auction. Why was such a valuable painting being sold in a seedy spaceport like Mos Espa? Where had it been all these years? Why was it surfacing now? The answers were a mystery, as much a mystery as the Star Destroyer's appearance here.